tonight, she has battled excess hair growth. I'm not talking about you here at all. I'm talking about this is anybody who has battled this and they think this is a problem. Believe me, this is not a problem compared to our next guest, who's called Little Bear Schwarz. What was she suffering from?
Well, she's suffering from Polycystic Ovary Syndrome since the age of 14. But she did fear that her beard would eventually get in the way of her ever finding love. She's named herself by deed poll Little Bear Schwarz, and she has finally found happiness with the man of her dreams, she says, who's 45-year-old Tobias. And they're settling into married life, and they're joining us live from Seattle. Thank you so much, both of you, for getting up very early or staying up very late.
We're just staying up.
It's good to see you, and it's good to see you smiling there, Little Bear, because this cannot have been easy. Polycystic ovary syndrome, as we know, can cause excess hair growth, severe excess hair growth. How did you deal with it when you were a teenager?
Well, so here's the funny thing. Like, around 14 or so, I started noticing, you know, hair popping up around my chin and neck and chest. And, you know, my parents, like you do, they took me to see several different specialists, and nobody could find anything. The process of diagnosing PCOS has come a very long way in a very short time, and I think back then, I guess they just had a set of parameters to look for, and yet even with my ability to grow excess, big quotes on excess, hair, they couldn't find it. So my younger years were really difficult because I had this hair that I didn't know what caused it. No one could tell me, no one could help me. So I just was sort of resigned to shaving it every morning, and I would shave my face in the shower because like there was so much deep shame that came with having this and not having a reason. So I just spent 16 years just trying to hide it and ignore it as much as I could, because there was no other model. Like there was nobody saying you could just grow it. Like that was never presented as an option. So shaving was really all I could do.
And what made the difference? Was it Tobias who made the difference?
No, actually, I didn't meet him until long after I grew my beard out. When I was 31, I moved to Seattle, and I was starting over. I didn't know anyone out here. It's a much more progressive city than many other cities in the U.S., so I thought, you know, if I ever want to try not shaving, this is probably going to be the best, if not the only opportunity I have. So I tried going one day without it, and then two, and after like a week, I thought, you know, maybe this is a thing I can keep. And then I found a flyer that was advertising a beard competition. And I thought, well, let's see if I can surpass making this acceptable. Let's see if I can make this lucrative. And I entered the beard competition and I won. And so I, from a very, very short time, went from shaving to sort of having this thing be like a star feature.
So you decided,
it really happened very quickly.
Yeah, you decided then there was no going back. You weren't going to shave anymore. Right. You were going to embrace your beard, however difficult that was. But you were still concerned that you wouldn't find someone that could see past the beard and see you. And you put a post on Facebook, didn't you, saying, you know, kind of, could anybody love me and this face? And that's how you met Tobias.
Right, because see, the thing is, I didn't have a problem finding people to date. It's just people really, I had to make sure it was someone who wasn't afraid to be seen with me, and someone who wasn't afraid of like the potential stigma of being the man who dates a bearded woman. So I did put up this post, and it was like a year and a half after a bad breakup, and I thought maybe I was ready to date again. And I put up this post, you know, saying exactly what I just said to you, and Tobias, who I had been friends with for a year or so, answered it and said that he actually would be interested. So there you go.
There you go. And now you're married. So Tobias, you've been friends for a little while. What was it about that Facebook message that made you declare yourself?
Oh, me? Basically, we'd met a few times because I'd helped her move, and I'd been following her on Facebook as she started becoming a performer. But she was always such a genuine, caring, loving person, a very giving person. She's very real. she's not fake. And I thought, this is the kind of person I'd like to spend time with, at least to be, get to know as friends. I'd been wanting to have the chance to, and I was finally in a position where I could spend time. And so it worked out. I said, I'd be interested in at least getting to know you. And I was afraid she would be like, thanks, but don't be creepy. but it didn't work. Luckily, I didn't come off the wrong way. And we just clicked. Once we started spending time together.
So, guys, let me ask you, though, when you're out and about as a couple, obviously your love for each other is not in any doubt, and you have bonded, you have clicked, as you said. But when you go out in public, for you, little Bear, there must be still an amazement factor with certain people, and they must look or stare. Is that disturbing? Because you must forget, obviously, the way you look at times. You're just you. But how do you deal with...
I forget it's strange.
Yeah.
How do I feel? When I'm with Tobias, it's a little less. And I think, unfortunately, there is a stigma that, if you're with a man, you back off a little bit. When I'm alone, it's a little more scary. People do stare. I wish I could tell you that, it's not a big deal, I just ignore them. But, 5 years into doing this, I still get stared at, I get pointed at, I get laughed at, I get people trying to take discreet photos of me. And I'm just going to be honest, it hurts. Hurtful things hurt. The same way that when people say really rude things to me online, and boy do they, it hurts. But
But you seem to have a lovely defence mechanism. I mean, you just seem happy. You seem that you can be joyous about what is going on in your life. I mean, is she always like that, Tobias?
She has. She has ups and downs. She's positive when things work out well, and there are times when groups of creeps just flock to her social media and send her death threats, and so I just have to be supportive. Or when we're in public, if she feels uncomfortable, I told her just come up and kiss me, or if I notice people are staring, I'll just lean over or I'll kiss her, because in a way, I think it kind of says, hey, don't mess with her, she's with someone. Or okay, yeah, some people are like, well, we can respect a man more than we can respect a woman, so okay, we'll leave it alone because he's a guy.
And I think that's it. I think having Tobias with me is what helps me get over the hurt of people's reactions.
Okay. Now we move on to the touchy subject of not only are you married, but Tobias, you like the idea of marriage. It's what you call a polygamous relationship, which I personally have no objection to. I mean, I sort of think in life, why be restricted to one wife in life,
or husband.
One husband or anything. I mean, you could be friends with a number of people. You wouldn't be in favour of this, would you?
I don't know. Let's hear what they think.
I'd rather say polyamorous. It means you can love many as opposed to marrying many. And it kind of just means that we're open to dating other people. And if we really get along with someone, they could become a part of a relationship for all of us.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is you can have more than one pet and love all your pets. You can have more than one sibling or more than one friend.
Yes.
So I guess I don't see love as a finite resource.
Very interesting.
And have you got anybody else in your relationship at the moment, or?
At the moment, no, I don't.
We've been kind of just focusing on us. We just got married. We're getting everything settled, and it makes sense to have a good foundation before you move into opening up.
Yes.
Well, listen, you seem to have a very good foundation. It was a lovely love story, and it's amazing, little Bear, how you deal with all this. And I know you're out there on social media and you answer people's questions. And
Little Bear's a professional singer. She's a soprano there as well. Guys, got to go. Thank you. Live from Tacoma, near Seattle, in the middle of the night. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.